that I had been there an awful long time. And she knew Puja, because she knew what Puja was, and she was like, no, don't do it. Just forget that. Don't do it. Don't be real. Don't be generous. Don't be genuine. Don't do puja the way you always do it. Just get to it and help me with my headache. She's like, Anthony, don't. Stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, Kat, I can't. I'm so sorry. So I want to help you. Not really, but I have an issue for real. And if you want me to help you, I'm going to have to talk to you, and you're going to have to talk to me until we get to a place where we can agree to be okay with each other, contingent on circumstance, whatever, sign a waiver, whatever. We got to get to the other side of this, to the humble place. We go our separate ways, but we cannot fight, and we cannot hate, and I can't be devoted to destroying you and help you at the same time. And she was like, damn it. Both of us were resistant, but because we're educated and disciplined. See, education and discipline is good for when you need it, not when you don't. I practice for when I need it, not for when I don't. And so guess what? I backed off a little bit. She sat up with her headache, and we had the first conversation in months, heart to heart, and we worked out some stuff. Not everything, some things. And then we made an agreement to continue the conversation later at a different place under different circumstances where she was not dependent. Because see, I had a problem with that too. I said, see, you're only agreeing with me because you know if you agree with me and I'm okay with that, then I'll help you. And see, again, how do I know that? Education, discipline, experience, right? And so we went through it, and we took, oh my God, we took an hour easily. And then we got to the other side of it, we made an agreement, and we shook on it. Literally, we shook hands on it. Okay, I agree. I'm gonna try, and we're gonna, and next Friday, 2 o'clock, we're gonna have a meeting at the restaurant, our favorite restaurant, you know. And so, and then I go to the next step, which is generate the bodhicitta. And generate the bodhicitta is to craft a perfect thought in the moment on purpose. Craft a perfect thought in the moment on purpose. And so if you don't know a perfect thought, I can give you one to practice with. If you don't have a perfect thought, maybe you've never had a perfect thought. I don't know. Sit up, Noi. Maybe you don't have your own perfect thought. Maybe if I told you right now, count 1 to 3, think a perfect thought. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Think a perfect thought. And nothing comes to mind. Or maybe something frivolous comes to mind. And maybe I'm being judgmental to say it's not perfect. But it is required, because the second you create a perfect thought on purpose, see, this point is on intention, not just according to your nature, you're a good person, you think good thoughts about people and all that, does not count. The only thing that counts is if you do it on purpose. See, that's the whole point. That's the conscience and consciousness. Get it? Have somebody hand me your level 1 book. Quick. Okay. In the back of the level 1 book, before the pictures in the back of the book, on page 31, you can share with me, Noi. I'm going to read this to you, if I can find my glasses. They're over here. Okay. There is listed on page 31 the Metta Sutra. The title of the page says Generating the Bodhicitta. And then there's another title under that. This is Metta Sutra. Metta is unconditional love. Undefiled, unbounded, unlimited, unconditional love. Sutra is book. But sutra can also be teaching. So sutra can also be model. Okay, so again, it's one of those words that can be translated. But metta is always translated as love. Okay? All right, let me read this to you, please. So this is the bodhicitta, literally means, citta is mind, okay, or perfect. And bodhi is mind. Okay? So it's the idea of having a perfect thought. The bodhicitta is an example of the most perfect thinking a person can do. It is a perfect petition for the well-being of all sentient beings. As a mantra, it powerfully manifests the loving and compassionate energies of all the saints and sages, and as such is suitable for inclusion in your puja. Okay? One of the reasons I was told that our school has lasted 1,000 years is because we practice this mantra. That's what I was told by the old people. So let me read it. And while I'm reading it, you just see the words in your head. Just see the words in your head. You can follow along. This is what should be accomplished by the one who is wise, who seeks the good and has obtained peace. Let one be strenuous, upright, and sincere, without pride, easily contented and joyous. Let one not be submerged by the things of the world. Let one not take upon oneself the burden of riches. Let one's senses be controlled. Let one be wise, but not puffed up. Let one not desire great possession, even for one's family. Let one do nothing that is mean, or that the wise would reprove. May all beings be happy. And actually, when I do this, I substitute my client's name for instead of being. So I will go, may Noi be happy. May all noise in all incarnations be happy. May all those noise, may they be joyous and live in safety. May my client, whether she is weak or strong, whether she is in high or middle or low realm of existence, small or great, visible or invisible, near or far, born or to be born, may all beings be happy. Let no one deceive another, nor despise any being in any state. Let none by anger or hatred wish harm to another. Even as a mother, at the risk of her life, watches over and protects her only child, so, with a boundless mind, should one cherish all living things in the world, suffusing love over all the entire world, above, below, and all around without limit. So let one cultivate an infinite good will toward the whole world. Standing or walking, sitting or lying down, during all one's waking hours, let one cherish the thought that this way of living is the best in the world. Abandoning vain discussion, having a clear vision, freed from sense appetites. One who is made perfect will never again know rebirth in the cycle of the creation of suffering for ourselves or for others. So, in the 1,000,000 pages of Buddhist literature that we know of, this sutra is considered the definitive definition of the practical expression of love as the most perfect way that a human being can think. And that for thousands and thousands of years, our teachers have taught that if we could just get a person to think like this for 1 minute, that their whole course of their life would change. And some teachers, like Lobsang Tenzin Negi, once said that if you read this mantra one time, or if you hear it one time, that you will have a higher birth and reincarnation in the next life because of that, if for nothing else. That's what he said. He said and basically, what is the next life? How about the next life starts on your lunch break, which I know you're keen on. How about your next life is afternoon class? How about your next life is tonight? How about your next life is tomorrow? How about your next life is next week? How about your next life is next month? How about your next life is next year? How about that you reincarnate, that you incarnate frequently. Incarnation, karmic incarnation, is not something you have to die to reap the benefits of. And then according to the laws of independent origination and causal creation of karma, which drives you to be tied to the wheel of incarnation, reincarnation, you are ultimately and always in charge of your karma and crafting and creating karma in real time, right now, this minute. So if you have suffered from karma and you have suffered from past harmful thoughts, actions, and or deeds, and you are now living a life which is contained, or which is stressed, or which is corrupted a little bit, or which is distorted a little bit, and that includes the life inside your body because of your past lives, because of your past harmful thoughts, actions, and deeds. How do you solve that equation? Do you have to wait till you die and you reincarnate in some possible future life? And I want to tell you that I'm a reincarnation anarchist. Okay? And the reason why I'm a reincarnation anarchist, and I'm going to teach you this, you take it, you don't take it, that's up to you. There's no future life. There's no heaven after this life. There's no future life. There's no door number 3 that you're going to choose in the afterlife that's going to be better than this one, which you chose to be in this life. In fact, this is it. This is the only life you have. It's the only life you ever had. It's the only life you're ever going to have. And if you don't work it out, and if you don't get to the other side of it right now, you are doomed to be here and to repeat it as often as necessary until you do. So you might as well wake up, smell the coffee, get with the program, get on to it, start creating karma on purpose. Karma that will generate the life that you want to be part of. I always say not live. I say the life I want to be part of, the world that I want to be in, the life, the family that I want to be part of, the community that I want to be part of, the job that I want to be part of, the income that I want to be part of, the sincere satisfaction of a life lived worth living. That I was part of crafting and creating it. It wasn't something I stumbled in. It wasn't an accident. I'm not a mindless idiot enjoying the benefits of others' work. There's a point of majority, of age and maturity of consciousness where every person has to take responsible for their own karma. This is the secret teaching of all ages, of all the monks and sages, is that there is a point to where every person has to wake up, smell the coffee, and take response. They learn that they are driving their vehicle of incarnation. Nobody else has control of any aspect of it. And you can't take that away from me, even if you take my breath away from me. And this is how a monk sat in a square and literally one guy ended the Vietnam War. When he went into a square in downtown Saigon in 1969, and his brother walked over to him and handed him a 5-gallon can of gasoline, which he then poured over the top of his head, and then his brother walked over and handed him a Zippo lighter, which he then lit and set himself on fire, and while he was burning, he did this mantra until he was charcoal. And it was filmed, and it was broadcast, and it was on every television set and every news in the whole world. And it was in the newspaper, every newspaper in the whole world on the next day, with other subtitles like "The madness has to stop." Stop the madness. Because what he said, by the way, the temple that he was in is the same temple that generated Thich Nhat Hanh. Have you guys heard of Thich Nhat Hanh? mindfulness, meditation teacher. But guess what? This was his uncle. This was his elder brother in the same temple. It was his model, Thich Nhat Hanh's role model. Ever since that day, Thich Nhat Hanh has been trying to teach people how to be the solution that monk tried to model with his own intentional passing. He was saying, life is not valuable enough to take me away from myself. There is nothing of value in this world that's valuable enough for me not to be myself and own up to my own convictions, even if it sets my hair on fire. And I can show you. I can prove it. And he didn't cry. And I've watched that video 100 times. He was in samadhi. He was calm. He was collected. He never tensed. He never flexed. He didn't cry. He didn't moan. He didn't scream. He was doing, as long as he had air moving through his voice, he was doing this, but in Pali, not in English. He did the Metta Sutra because where he was coming from and where he was going to was love. So you got to own that. And that's puja.